Hello and welcome to Television Production Class. Today we are going to talk about different categories of television genres. First of all, we are going to define what is TV genre. TV genre simply means different TV programs that are always portrayed or disseminated in TV stations. And as we have different types of TV stations, we have national TV, we have international television stations, but in Kenya we also have local television stations. So the first category of TV genre is what we call dramatic television programs. Dramatic television programs are simply feature length, or as length programs that depict the real world, or as they can talk about an individual, or they can talk about a person and the way he interacts and associate with the others in the society. And under documentary program, it can talk about the previous event about an individual, what is happening at the moment, whereas documentary program can also talk about what is likely to happen in the future. So a documentary is more detailed compared to news stories or as feature articles, whereby you'll find that documentary, you must give us what, why, when, and how the event unfolded from the beginning up to what is likely to happen in the future. Another type of television program is what we call a docudrama. A docudrama is simply a program depicting some sort of historic or current news event, and it associates what has been happening previously with what is happening at the moment, and it shares by comparing and contrasting the event the way they unfold. For example, we can talk about the political aspect in Kenya. What happened during the 2017 election, what is happening at the moment, and what we anticipate in the coming general election. So we call it a docudrama. Then have what is called medical drama. Medical drama is simply a medical program, or is a medical TV program based around a team of medics helping patients who have been involved in accident, or as otherwise you find that maybe we have an hospital somewhere, an accident has occurred, and they have maybe the medical team, they come and depict what is happening as try to assist those who have incurred an injury, or else who have incurred an accident. So you call them a medical television programs. Maybe, for example, an accident has occurred, and as a result, the medical personnel have been called upon to come and assist those who are in a dangerous situation. Then you have another program, what we call educational television program. For example, now you are having e-learning, and under e-learning program, most of the schools or colleges, institutions are now venturing into virtual learning. And that's what we call an aspect or steps of educational program. Or they can also be about kids programs that are majorly aimed at educating the children in the society and how to cope with the changing trends within the society or else within the community. So educational program, they educate the society about what they're supposed to do, or else instead the public about the way they're supposed to cope with the changing trends in the society. For example, HIV and AIDS has been affecting so many people, drug abuse. We can talk about unemployment in Kenya. It is an example of educational program where we come up with the way forward of how to assist those who have been affected with certain calamities or scenarios within the society. Then you have another program what we call the game show, or a television game show. A TV game show simply means it's a television show depicting a real context, or else a real content that is taking place in the society. Typically can be a trivia competition, or else a physical challenge that takes place in the community, and maybe you have to portray what is happening to the members of the public or members of the third estate. And under a game show, for example, in Kenya, have what is called, have been having a lot of competition in terms of City Impossible, whereby we have one of the contestants is going to win at the end of the tunnel. Is an example of a game show television program. Whereas you have a Tusker Project Fame is also an example of television program in a society or in Kenya. Then you have another program called a television program. You'll find that you have some stations that majorly specialize in TV or as disseminating music based of television. For example, how MTN in Kenya is majorly a music entertainment television channel. We have maybe, let's say, a classic radio station which is majorly talks about or they disseminate music in form of entertaining the audience at large. Or Kiss TV, it has a lot of music program, and you can classify it as an example of a music television program. Then you have another program, what we call the police procedurals. A police procedural program simply talks about what is the event that is taking place in the society in terms of crime, and the police normally come up with the mechanisms of avoiding or eliminating criminal activities in the society. So in simple terms, a police procedural program is a television genre that revolves around the stories involving crime or as criminal activities. In most cases, a crime has been committed and the police are trying to come up with the ways of solving this criminal activity. The tail end of this particular program majorly takes place in the court, whereby the suspect have been arraigned in the court and the suspect are supposed to be answerable for their mistakes. Then how what is called a reality television program. From the word real, it is unscripted. Unscripted simply means there is no script for this particular television program, whereby an action is taking place. For example, you are having an interview in the studio or in the television studio. You don't have to script down what someone is going to say, despite the fact that you are likely to have the main topic of discussion, but now each and every person has his own views concerning the interview that you are conducting. There is no you can come up with a script about what someone is going to talk about. So we call them the reality television programs. So let's talk about football event. There's no you can come up with a script about a football match that is taking place in the field, because you never know, maybe after someone has hit the ball, you can never know maybe who is going to be the next recipient of that particular ball. So you cannot be able to script such like programs. We call them the reality television programs. Then how about is called religious television programs? For example, nowadays you are having so many religious stations, or else maybe you are, for example, on Sunday service you are having a preacher who is trying to disseminate information to the members of the public or preach the gospel. They can be classified as religious television programs. And these programs are majorly produced by religious organizations, usually with a religious message. It may include church services, a talk show concerning religious matters, or else can be dramatic movies concerning what is happening in the world in form of religion. Then you can talk about another program, a television genre, what we call a television science fiction, a science fiction program. Maybe just let's define what is science fiction program. It is often celebrated as a forward-thinking genre that promotes peace among all forms of the society. A science fiction in most cases are these programs that have a lot of fantasy. They talk about misery or these horror movies. They can be classified under science fiction, whereby you come up with a program that can only take place in the world of imagination. For example, maybe you can come up with a program of what is happening, what is likely to happen in Kenya 50 years from today. It can be classified as a science fiction television program. You can also talk about post-apocalyptic genres or post-apocalyptic events that happen in the real world of science. Then you have television serial program, or sometimes you can call them television series. What is a serial? It's a television show which is of a continuous format. So you have what is called a series and you have what is called a comedy. Whereas a series normally takes place for a long period of time, whereby maybe you're watching an event, it can take even a whole year, can take even 10 years. Other series programs can take even up to 10 years or 20 years in the television program. For example, in KBC had a program called The Bold and the Beautiful that took place for more than 20 years, the same television show, but now it is called a series. The opposite of a series is what we call an episode. An episode is a television program that you view once and you forget about it. And maybe during the next production they are going to come up with a different angle or a different aspect of that particular program. Then you can talk about what is called a television comedy. A comedy can be classified into two. We have what is called a situational comedy. For example, from the other situations whereby as the actor of that particular program, maybe let's say you take someone from the village and you place this person in the state house, whereby you are totally changing the environment of these actors or this particular person who is involved in this particular comedy. That's why it is called situational comedy. So you are going to see the way he's going to interact with the new environment, and then he's going to be able to cope with the challenges of a new environment. For example, when you watch about African magic programs, most of them they talk about situational comedies, whereby maybe someone came from a very poor background and is able to mingle or to interact with someone who is coming from a rich family. So they are going to take a lot of time to be able to adapt in the new situation or else in the new environment. And that's why it is called a situational comedy. Then have a stand-up comedy television program whereby this person just come up in a production studio and happen to produce or to present his talent as he is covered. Maybe as we come to the conclusion, we can just maybe talk about what is called soap operas. You'll find that most of the Kenyan television programs, they have so many soap operas. And the origin of these soap operas took place many years ago in the 1980s, whereby initially it was aimed at women, let's say the housewife who were just at home during the daytime, and they used to come up with these particular programs when at home, and that's why it became to be referred to as the soap operas. These are television shows which are always in continuous form, usually on every day, or else it can be on a weekly basis. Others can run maybe twice a week. Others can go up to 20 years because it is always in a continuous series form. Then last but not least, we have what is called telenovela programs, or telenovela television programs. These are television serial programs, or as a television melodrama programs as majorly known in the Latin American language. They are similar to soap operas, but the difference is that in telenovelas they are in mini-series. They are in mini-series format. That's the main difference between a telenovela and a soap opera program. Most of telenovela talk about program concerning love life, or else the people engaging in love life in the society or in the community. And maybe we have maybe the one whom we can call the protagonist and antagonist, and along that they are going to have different conflict in these particular programs, and they come up with a way of solving the challenges that are taking place in the society. So we call them a telenovela television programs. I hope you have been able to contextualize different aspects of television genres, and you'll be able to memorize and to understand these TV genres. Thank you for your time. Let's meet next time, same place.